Introducing Christmas Shar and Joshua Paz.
そして両チームの国歌選手を行います。皆さん、この方からご起立ご発声いただき、国旗にご注目ください。
Now the national anthem of both teams. Ladies and gentlemen, face the national flag.
まずは日本国国歌斉唱です。
So the national anthem for Japan.
続きまして、オーストラリア国歌斉唱です。
And the national anthem for Australia.
選手の皆様、最終ウォーミングアップを始めてください。
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. Players, please begin your final warm-up.
And here we go. We are underway here at the Tokyo Metropolitan Gymnasium. Got the big matchup with Australia and Japan. Australia takes the first try here, and here we go with the world number 2 Australia and number 3 Japan. My name is Alex Hatton. I will be doing the commentary. I'm very pleased to introduce to you Mr. Adam Frost. He's going to be joining us here from the booth. We're going to be watching the game together, and having said that, Japan comes back with a try, and that's 1-1. So Adam, what are we looking for with the big matchup coming up with Japan and Australia here?
Thanks, Alex, and hello, everybody. Yeah, I expect to see both of these teams feel each other out as they get ready to play each other two more, or at least one more time this weekend.
Right.
Both teams have started, probably their top lineups, so at least they're going to give it their all to start the game, and we'll see how they manage it as we go.
Right, we're going to be seeing this matchup again tomorrow, and anticipated most likely for the finals.
Most likely, yeah.
So this is going to be a really important start for both teams. Both teams started today earlier. They each won a game. Japan beating New Zealand 51-40, and then Australia beating Korea 71-23. I'm sure you were watching. I think you were with us for the first game. How was the first game with Japan playing New Zealand?
The first game, obviously Japan dominated the game. If you're just looking at the score, not quite the same way Australia dominated Korea, of course. But, both teams probably made a few more errors than you're used to seeing. But, first game in quite a few months, so maybe shaking the rust off a little bit. So
the first game nerves were a little bit there, but we're here at Game 3. This is still day 1 of a 4-day tournament. We're here at Game 3. And with that, we've got number 10, who is Chris Bond. He's the captain for Australia, makes the try.
Lots of quick scores in this game already. Both of these teams attack quite fast, although they approach the game a little bit differently. Australia tends to try to get the ball into their big gun Riley in motion and look to wheel before pass, whereas Japan uses the advantage of their height to get the ball in to a stationary receiver, and then their first look is often to try to move the ball, to pass the ball to center, and then react from there. So one team tends to pass a little bit more, and
the other team
tends to try to push a little bit more.
So the very different strategies. Mr. Adam Frost, you were actually the head coach for Japan, Team Japan, in 2013 and 14, so I'm sure you know a lot of the players here.
There's about half of the team that are still on the roster when I was with them, so some turnover, and obviously they've had a lot of success since then. So the coaching staff that took over after me, and of course this current coaching staff, doing a great job as well. So,
great. And you've played against both of these coaches in various tournaments as well, right? So.
Yes, long history with all of these. Most of these athletes, not so much as an athlete, but definitely as a coach, for sure.
Well, a lot of familiar faces for Adam here, and we are at 4-4 with Japan and Australia. And we've got number 10, Chris Bond, is going to try and get through. He's got the ball over the center line, and he's just going to glide right. Oh, and that's going to be...
good job.
Is that a good defense play?
Yeah, good defense. Bond did call a timeout on his way down to stop, to keep possession of the ball. So that's their first of 4 timeouts.
So players are allowed up to 4 individual timeouts.
You're allowed 4 30-second timeouts. They can be called by the coach and, of course, the players on the court, but they're almost exclusively used in those situations to prevent turnovers.
So he called the timeout to prevent a turnover, and he passes it right in to his teammate number 3. That's Riley Bat.
Yeah, the Japanese defense got a little bit caught chasing the player around. I'm forgetting which side of the, nobody between Riley and their goal there. So,
and there was a long pass from, I believe that was Ike, passes it to Ikezaki. It's a combination that we've seen a lot of from this Japanese squad.
And we'll see a lot more.
Definitely.
As it goes. So 10 tries, 2 minutes into the game. We're on pace for a lot of tries if they keep scoring at this rate.
This is going to be a game of seeing sort of who can try and make the other team make a mistake I believe sort of that's going to be the strategy, right?
Yeah, usually the team that makes the least number of mistakes tends to win, obviously, in a team sport like this.
Right.
So, you know, teams too tend to score at you know, about a 90% success rate at this level.
Okay.
So, you know, that one turnover a quarter can be quite impactful.
And with that success rate very high, that's the 6th try for Japan. And once again, that was Ikizaki took the try. And they're going to set up the play here. And that's dropped. Ikizaki takes it. And he's going to try and find an opening on the left side, on the right side.
Yeah, well, there we have our first mistake.
Rally Bat sticking with him. Oh, but there's Ikizaki.
Yeah. You know, pressure from both Ike and Ikizaki there.
Right.
Riley maybe took his eyes off the ball and slipped through his palms, and we've had our first turnover.
Yeah, so the defensive aggression there was very sort of high up in the opposition end. And they sort of
what Japan were doing there is their 2 Class 1s had eliminated the 2 .5s from Australia, and then you had your 2 Class 3s defending a 3-5. So that's, from a points perspective, an advantage for Australia, although we've been trying that for many years against Riley with not much success.
Not much success, yeah. It's
so
hard player to stop and force a mistake out of.
Yeah. But you can see that looks like it's Japan's tactic for the most part. See if Ike and Ikizaki can manage Riley.
And fell over on that.
A little bit unlucky for the Japanese side, I think. And ball bounced right back to Bond. And
almost caught up to the ball. Wasn't quite out of their reach. And we've got a substitution for Team Japan. And they're switching out all 4 players. So we've got, let's see, who do we have coming in? We've got number 13, Shimakawa. He is the top veteran. He's 48 years this year. And we've got number 3, Kai Kurahashi. It's the one female player from Team Japan. That's going to allow them an extra 0.5 points on their class total. And then we've got number 32, Katsuya Hashimoto. He's the young star, right?
Future of the Japanese wheelchair rugby, I would go on a limb and say at the moment, for sure. You know, when you've got a 40-year-old out there with a 20-year-old,
that's a good.
It's probably a safe bet.
Right? Yeah. And sorry, we had, and that was number 13, and what is this call here?
I think he called meter violation on Norimatsu there. Got a little bit too close to Bond before he inbounded the ball. The inbounders allowed 1 meter of space, and that meter remains until he moves or until he releases that ball. And then the meter disappears, but you still have to let him onto the court. You can't.
I see.
Not that that was the violation this time, but.
So with that, Norimatsu is penalized, and he's going to sit in the penalty box
for up to 60 seconds, although rarely does a penalty last that long in our sport.
Once the try is scored, then he is released from the penalty box, and he's back on the court.
Yeah, and it does, you know, after one quick possession there, it does look like this lineup is going to try that same defense where they're going to have the 2 high pointers on Riley, and the 2 low pointers take out the Australian low pointers. So we'll see if they continue to try that.
And
Hashimoto challenging the veteran there.
Right, he's saying, I think you can still reach that, right? That's a great pass.
Yeah.
The youngster and the veteran combination making a try together there. And Hashimoto goes in for the defense, but that's not going to stop Riley Bat. He's going to slide right in for another try.
We're still on our pace. We're now at 4 minutes and at 20 tries, so they're not taking their foot off the gas yet, that's for sure.
It's a lot of scoring. Our eyes have to keep going back and forth over and over.
Yeah. Referee's calling a jump ball there. They're saying that both Riley and Hashimoto were possessing the ball at the same time, so did have his hand on that ball for a long time.
So the possession here goes to Japan.
Yeah, surprisingly, Australia won that jump. It looked like they were conceding, given that they had Ozan against Ike on the jump, but Ike decided to try and tip it to himself, and of course, Riley jumped in there, and I think it was Riley. It was either Riley or Bond jumped in there and took possession.
Jump ball
so
situation.
Now it's Japanese possession arrow, or was. Go to Australia now that the ball's come in.
And he's gonna, once again, the veteran and youngster combination, fitting in the try. And that's gonna be a nice long pass there. And he's gonna.
Both these teams are so good at finding that player breaking wide open deep.
Right.
You know, Riley doesn't inbound the ball that often, but Chris was able to get open there, and we see the Japanese squad do that quite often as well, right?
Well, this teamwork is most likely a result of, long, playing together for a long time. They've had a lot of experience together, and imagining that, they could probably play with their eyes half closed, right? They kind of can feel that he's going to be around this area if I throw it there. And you can really feel that teamwork between these players. And he's going to, there we go. That's a nice pass. And Riley bats, looking for open space here.
Good defensive pressure there by Hashimoto and Norimatsu, forcing the ball out of Riley's hands, which is something you always want to do when you're playing against them.
Right. Yep, there was some good aggressive defense from Japan there. They used up the try clock, up to about 15 or 12 seconds left at the end.
The problem is if you do get the ball out of Riley's hands, you got somebody just as competent in Bond.
Exactly, right.
You got to worry about him afterwards.
Yep, there's too many things, too many players to sort of watch out for.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this matchup one of the greatest.
Yeah. We're lucky that we're going to probably see this two more times.
All
this
right.
weekend.
Very excited to.
Yeah. One of the nice things about the tournament this year is they've changed the rule that the world champion doesn't automatically qualify for the Paralympics. So usually one of these teams is almost already qualified.
I see.
So this year, whoever wins the gold medal game will get that automatic berth. So there's a lot on the line, which is nice because, wheelchair rugby, there's not a lot of tournaments where winning is the ultimate goal. There's only our zonals and world champion and Paralympics. So when you take one of those events and sort of already taken away that qualification spot, or that
I see.
So it's a good positive change in my opinion.
Yep, the final is going to be a big game for getting the ticket to Paris. Obviously, even if they do lose, there's going to be still chances, but they have to go into preliminary rounds with the other regions, I believe.
So technically, probably they call it the Paralympic qualifier, but we do call it the last chance qualifier as well.
Okay.
So there's that'll be sometime in February or March of 24.
Okay.
So destination to be determined still, because we've got another zonal championships to go after this one. The America zone. Getting low on the try clock here.
And and that's going to be given a try once again to Riley Bat.
Yeah, well, Kurahashi was in good position to stop him there, but a lot of power from Riley. He was able to move her about a chair length sideways.
Very strong tackle there.
Oh, and I believe that's the first Japanese turnover of the game. So one for each team in this quarter.
So this is going to put Australia in a bit of an advantage point here, and we're nearing the end of the first period. We're down to 1 minute and 43. The time management at the end of each period is very important, I hear.
Well, as we've talked about, turnovers are reasonably rare in our sport. So when you can gain a goal by scoring the last goal of the quarter and then getting the first possession of the next quarter, it's a tactic that a lot of teams employ, sometimes more successfully than others. But, my theory is I'd always rather fail on offense, or rather than fail on defense, you're more likely to score than not if you have the ball. That it just when you are trying to score that last goal and you don't accomplish it, it just kind of looks really bad. So.
Yep. So it's a very important emphasis on defense. You know, you see a lot of the names of sort of the high point names always come up because they're the main ones, you know, coming with the tries. But a lot of what the defensive players are doing, the low point players, what they're doing is very vital too.
It's an I don't know if an underappreciated skill, but they don't track assists. So it's hard to statistically see how they contribute. But if you know, when you're playing the sport, the difference between a player in a defensive chair that's competent and one that's not competent, you really notice it as a ball carrier. It makes your job so much harder. So, you know, all these players are really good at it. And we've got some new ones out there. For example, McQuillan, who's no longer on the court, only started the sport about a year ago. So to be out here starting for Team Australia World Championships.
Yeah, I believe McQuillan was.
Oh, he is out.
Initially,
he is out there. He is out there. My bad.
I believe he was a footy player, an Australian rules football player. And
so that team sport
got an injury
background
from there, but he's originally a very talented athlete.
Yeah.
Which is most likely why he was able to make the real quick adjustment to the new sport. And oh wow, that is passed on once again to Riley Batt.
Riley
Batt, take it in.
Nice job by Nicholson there. Nicholson there to bail himself out of the trouble that he kind of got himself into, tipping that ball up to Batt.
And we're
I believe we've got a reaching in foul or illegal use of hands foul there.
Illegal use of hands foul.
Looks like Riley might have caught Shimakawa in the face. Keep missing the replays here. I forget it's right in front of us.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. So Edmondson is.
Did Edmondson
on the
got
floor?
it? No, Batt's going in the box.
Oh, Batt's is going into the penalty box.
So with 32.2 seconds to go, that sort of almost guarantees that Japan's going to be able to score the last goal of this quarter, because obviously they'll have the man advantage, and it's when you're on defense and you have a guy in the box, you have to be so careful, because if you take another penalty, the player stays in the box. So sort of guarantees Japan the last try here if they decide to do it, which I can't see any reason why they won't.
And yep, I think they're just gonna take their time, run out the clock until there's very little time left.
Yeah.
Just gonna count down the clock and down to the last. Got the countdown. Everyone is counting down in the arena, and with 0.8 seconds, he goes past the trial line, making it 16-16. And one last play, but he's just going to hold on to that, and that is the first period. What do you think about the first period so far?
Well, I think that both teams came out with their foot to the pedal, so to speak, and were attacking and attacking and pretty much playing the way we're used to seeing them play. It kind of slowed down a little bit towards the end there. We didn't stay on our 10 goals every 2 minutes pace. But 32 tries in the first 8 minutes is a pretty good clip. So, and very few turnovers by both teams. So I'm sure we'll see more of the same as we move forward through this game. I'd be surprised if we don't see everybody touch the court in this game on both benches. So perhaps that will lead to some more turnovers if you get less experienced players out there. We'll see.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll see some of the other players coming up in the next 3 periods, where you've got another 2 minutes until we go into the second period. So we'll be back with you in the next 2 minutes. And here we go. We are underway with the second period. The first period ended 16 to 16 between Japan and Australia. And Australia starts with possession of the ball, and we've got number 23, Jaden Warren, takes the try there. So Australia have switched up some of their players here.
Yeah, and Jake Howell, number 4, is seeing his first minutes of the game. And I think that Japan has got Ogawa out there for his first minutes as well.
Number 23 is Ogawa, and that's with Hashimoto.
Hashimoto and Ikazaki,
yeah. Ikazaki, yeah.
Hasegawa.
And Kurahashi is the fourth player on the court.
No, it's...
Oh, go ahead.
Hasegawa.
Hasegawa. Oh, sorry, Hasegawa is the fourth player on the court. And takes that over to Jaden Warren. And Riley back. Oh, puts on the Jets there. It's gonna.
One of the more interesting things for me to watch is just how does Hashimoto match up against Riley.
Right.
You know, just looking for indications of what he might be in the future. He's already playing at a really high level, but I think he's at 20. He's probably going to have another step in him for sure. So trying to figure out where he might get to, watching him battle, who a lot of people would call the best player in the world.
Yeah, so this is really sort of great playing experience too for the young star, playing amongst the best of the world.
Yeah, I saw him in Canada, the Canada Cup, back in June of 2022, and he had a really strong tournament in then. I was a little surprised to see he didn't play more at Worlds last fall, but KO, for whatever reason, decided not to use him. But, he's back out there playing really well again now, so hasn't put him in a step backwards, that's for sure.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll see a lot of him throughout this tournament and many more tournaments to come in the future. And he's going to
this class 1 for Japan, Ogawa, number 23, also had a really strong tournament for Japan at the Canada Cup. So,
at the Canada Cup,
they now have the high pointer of future and perhaps their low pointer of the future in him as well. And, of course, they got Hasegawa, who's out there doing quite well. So. Yeah, it's a great job by Ogawa screening off Warren there. Nice, good speed to keep up with that
good speed to keep up with it. Okay, Yep, Ogawa is known for both his strength and his speed, keeping up with the opposition and playing some good defense. But this is right. Oh, but here we go. Wow, Hashimoto really put on the Jets there. He caught up to Riley Bat.
Yeah.
And he's going to not allow the try to go through.
No. This isn't a round-robin game for him. He's out there
well, this
trying to prove something for sure. Looks like it.
And, he gets the pass through. Oh, but wow, Hashimoto is really putting in defense. And they're going to get it into Jaden Warren. He's going to get the try there, but some really good defense there.
Yeah, good pressure, making Australia work hard to score their tries. It's a little bit different than what we saw in the first quarter. Or a lot of the first quarter.
And that's a long pass lobbed into Hashimoto once again, who's showing a lot of his talent on the court today. And number 4, Jake Howe, is going to start things off here for Australia. So they try to go for their 20th try of the game. And he lodged that in. And there we go. Oh, but there's Hashimoto once again. And Ikazaki also tackling. And that's a good tackle right there as well. Got just 10 seconds left on the clock. Has to score within 10 seconds or else.
Warren on his second attempt there is able to knock Ogawa out of bounds, which will give Australia a new 40-second shot clock and a man advantage.
I see.
they're with this lineup, they're running their offense similar to how Japan wears theirs, where they're using Warren to post up.
Okay.
And where the challenge is for them, he's either got to move that ball faster to Bat, who's playing up by center, or get it on his lap and start wheeling faster. But he's taking a little bit too long to get moving up the court, get that ball moving up the court, and they got it over that time. But one of the reasons that they're struggling a little bit. Coming out with their more veteran 3-5, 2-2.5 line.
Yep, they have Edmonton has joined the court here. And makes the try to make it 20-19. And Japan's going to try and set up the play to get their 20th try. And Ikizaki is going to keep moving fast there. And he's going to take, he's going to take it himself, but that was a great block by Hashimoto right there to let his teammate Ikizaki right through.
Yeah. It looked like Nicholson might be able to cut Ikizaki off there at the center line and force him to turn back, but he was able to get around the corner. I think Ogawa got a bit of a pick bar into him and knocked off balance a little bit. So.
Yep, there's a lot of sort of tackling and clashing going on. Even before, like right here, the ball hasn't even been thrown in yet, but there's a lot of sort of finding the position, finding an opening, keeping up with the opposition.
Yeah. One of the things that's different about wheelchair rugby than a lot of sports is you're actually allowed to hit anybody at any time, whether or not they have the ball. And how many sports can you say that?
Right, that's...
You know, so you always have to have your head up, obviously, and...
Guess maybe the closest would be hockey, I guess.
Well, in hockey, you can't hit somebody. Maybe a football with blocking and that sort of thing. Of that, but not too many sports. That's not quite the same as
hitting even without the ball. That is a very actually unique aspect of the sport.
Yeah.
And Ikizaki is trying to find an opening. He's going to, Rally Bat catches up to him. He's going to try, and not quite, and that is...
Looks like McQuillan backed out of bounds there, so he would have crossed the try line, and
I see.
He will be sent into the sin bin. Give Japan a new possession clock here. And some substitutions are coming in.
Yep, substitutions for Japan. We've got number 1, Wakayama. I think it's his first time out today.
He's
sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Yeah, this is their starting lineup.
Okay, right. Number 99 and number 21 Ike is out here.
Yeah.
So they'll be joining Ikizaki, who's going to continue to be out on the court. So we'll see the Ike Ikizaki combination once again. And Ikizaki slides in for the try here, which is going to bring number 5, McQuillan, out of the box once again. And he passes that on to number 21, Josh Nicholson, who's going to try and find an opening. Passes it over to Bat, who gives a long lob. Is he going to catch up? Number 14, Edmonton catches up. Pass it back to Riley Bat. And they try to stop him, but he squeezes right through.
You can see how much difficulty Australia had there on that try. Japan forced the ball into Nicholson, who took a long time to get it back into the hands of Riley, and Riley made a great pass to Edmondson, who made a great play to catch it and keep it in bounds.
Right.
But you can see how difficult it was for them, and I missed that.
Right. Getting it to Shields.
So good defense there by Australia, I assume.
Yeah. And here we go with Japan. Once again, the Ike Ikizaki combination. Trying to set up a play here. And Riley Bat's going to put some pressure on Ikizaki there.
No.
And he makes a nice turn and
Yeah, just some movement there. Got the defense moving, and that gap opened up in the corner.
Right.
Bit of a screen and reasonably easy try.
Some good moves. And once again, a long lob from Riley Bat into Edmondson.
Edmondson knows his role really well in this team. He's always in good position and giving Riley an outlet.
Right. In the right place at the right time for a great pass like that. Yeah. And that's the teamwork that we see with this Australian team.
It's a good example of a high screen there. Ball comes into Ike down low and is able to move the ball up to Ikazaki with a picker to work with.
Wow.
Oh. I would say a little bit of nonchalantness there by Ikazaki. Got a little bit too close to the goal line and couldn't score in that corner, and then was punished for his bad positioning by getting knocked out of bounds and the turnover going Australia's way.
So there's a bit of a mistake from Japan, so this is going to put Australia in an advantage. If they're able to score a try here, that's going to give them the 2-point lead.
Yeah. You know, and if Ikazaki does have a gap in his game, is it sometimes he does make those kind of errors where instead of keeping the ball in a safer area, he gets a little bit creative, perhaps, ends up.
Tried to do a little bit too much, and Edmondson couldn't quite get there.
Yeah, ball goes back Japan's way, though, so guess at the end of the day, it's not going to hurt them. It's going to remain a tie game if Japan's able to score here.
So Australia wasn't able to capitalize on the advantage that they gained. Good defense from Japan on the other hand, and Hashimoto is gonna.
Great job by Edmondson to take advantage of Hashimoto there and get his bumper on his wheel and turn him at the center line.
Okay, right.
You're always looking in wheelchair rugby. You're always looking what we call danger zones, and the danger zones are areas close to the goal lines and the center line.
Okay,
you can make people make decisions in those areas.
Right.
More, you're going to sometimes get turnovers, and we saw one there.
So once again, another turnover. We've seen a couple turnovers here now.
Yeah, 3 in a row. Riley's in a tough spot here. Once again, danger zone, center line.
Right. Once they cross the center line, you're not allowed to go back into your defensive zone.
And it's a matter of a one wheel touching that line.
Okay, right. So
then
even if you just slightly touch the line, that's going to put a penalty, and that's what happened earlier with Japan. They tried to do that with Riley Bat, but he's able to come back in.
Nice work by Kurahashi and Hashimoto there to trap the Australian player in the key. Once you're in the key, you're only allowed to stay in there for 10 seconds.
Right.
So he was forced to use a timeout to, once again, avoid the violation and keep possession of the ball. They've got 15 seconds on the shot clock, so I'm going to. I didn't notice what the time was when the timeout happened, but I'm going to assume that it was reset to 15. If you use a timeout when the shot clock is below 15 seconds, it gets reset to 15. And that's a 30-second timeout and a coach 60-second timeout.
Okay, for both. Right.
Yeah, but the difference is the coach can't call his timeout when the ball is live.
Right.
Can only do that during a dead ball, right? So.
Right. So the shot clock stays at 15.
So it looks like Australia is going to go with their starting lineup here, see if they can probably try to get last goal of the quarter, since it's such a tight game as we approach half.
And with a minute and a half left, that's the exact sort of time that you want to be scoring to get the last point, right?
Yeah. So two-try lead for Australia here as we wind down this first half.
Right, and that was almost a turnover, but Hashimoto hangs onto the ball, and he's going to lob it in to his teammate Ike. Ike's gonna take his time. I think he's gonna wait for the 55-second mark.
Yeah, the teams typically try to put the ball in around 55 seconds. You know, they've got 10 seconds on the try clock here, so. And there you go.
And he's gonna put it on a 55.2.
The trick is when you score at 55, you have to make sure that you make the other team take 15 seconds to score, which is really tough to do against Australia because they're so good attacking quickly.
And they were not able to do that. Australia scores within 10 seconds.
So
which basically means that Japan, even after Japan scores, there's going to be at least 4.5 seconds left.
Probably won't be able to score right at 0, so that'll give Australia 6, 7, 8 seconds maybe, which is not lots of time, but lots of time for them.
Yep.
And the mistake by EK there.
Pass in to get through. And number 10, Chris Bond, is he gonna take his time here and wait for the clock as well?
Yeah, they'll try and score as close to 0 as they can here. Take a 3-try lead into halftime. It is Japan's arrow, so they'll have ball to start the half, so they can narrow that down to 2 tries, perhaps. But certainly not where they want to be.
So that puts Australia in a 3-point lead, with Japan 3.4 seconds left to see if they can narrow it down to a 2-point lead, but we'll see. EK's just going to hold on to this and wait for the clock to end. So Australia with a 3-point lead against Japan. This is a fairly large lead, considering that the first period ended at 16-16 tie. How was the first half?
I had a good time. I don't know about you.
I enjoyed it too.
We talked about the first quarter, lots of goals, fast attacking. That quarter was a little bit slower, I would say, not quite as many tries, few more turnovers towards the end. So, once again, these teams haven't played competitive games for several months, so I don't know if they're still rusty, but good defense, everybody's playing, and, I'm looking forward to an exciting second half here.
Well, we'll be back with you in 9 minutes and 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10 seconds. We'll be back with you.
don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't. Gotta focus on yourself, on your faith, on your dreams, on your mind, on your health, yeah. You gotta work, never tell, keep your head down, find what you love and excel, yeah. Push and pull and repel any hate, go create what you want, feel compelled, yeah. And once you finally get a taste of the race, you'll never look back once you felt that. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. About others way before myself, yeah. I guess that's why I feel like I go through hell, damn. Wasting time on your dreams instead of mine, yeah. About to turn this franchise around on a dime, man. It's all about finding your right state of mind. It's all about turning the worst into fine. It's all about time and the work and the climb. From the thirst we will rise, I'm immersed in this life. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first.
And here we go with the second half of the big matchup once again, Japan versus Australia. First half ended with Australia 26 to Japan 23. We've got a 3-point lead. And
good job there by Kurahashi to call timeout before she crossed that try line and stopped turnover from happening. Getting instructions from the coach. Seems to be a big smile on her face, so she's happy with the feedback that she's getting.
She did the right thing there.
Looked like a big smile from up here.
No, we can see her teeth from up here, so that's definitely, and we can see her on the screen. She's having a great time out there on the court.
Why wouldn't you be?
Oh yeah, we're having a great time too here, watching from the booth. And passes that over to Shimakawa, the veteran player once again. Shimakawa is up there with Haga, Ikizaki, and Kurahashi. That's the starting four for the second half here, and takes that in for a try.
Yeah, good movement by the Japanese offense there to get the Australian defender away from that corner and get that seal and put it in the far side there.
And the starting four on the Australian side, we've got Miller, Howe, Bat, and Bond. So we've got these four starting for us on the second half. Chris Bond once again with the ball, passes it over to Riley Bat. And
both teams are getting back in their key to start this quarter here.
And just hangs on. Wow.
Nice concentration by Bond there to get control of that ball after it looked like it was going to get away from him.
Looked like he almost lost control, but he hung on, stuck to him. And that's going to end up in a try. Put them back on a 3-point lead. And Shimakawa passes it over to number 4, Haga.
Nice job by Ike after he got the ball. He was able to get it on his lap and get moving up the court, which forced defense to retreat and options to open up.
Right. Set up the defense before we. It's a very important aspect considering how fast the game goes back and forth. You really got to make sure that you get your defense ready right after you score the try. There's no time to wait and chit-chat.
In my opinion, transition when you're switching from offense to defense and defense to offense is the most important part of the game. And teams that do it the best have the most success.
Right.
So.
Yep. So you'll see players sometimes, they'll take their time to make a try just to make sure so that they can get their teammates ready for the next coming opposition.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's, as we mentioned earlier in the game, because you can also tackle each other even if you don't have a ball, the offense, defense sort of.
Yeah. You're not allowed to make contact during the dead ball. So that's contact before the whistle. So the referees do blow their whistle to initiate contact. But if the player still has possession and haven't scored the try yet, of course, you're allowed to make contact in your transitions at that point.
Right. And we're still at a 3-point difference here. And he's going to make a nice pass over to the veteran again.
Yeah,
takes that over the line.
Nice job by Haga there to be patient with the ball and get the ball to the open man, Shimakawa, rather than into Ike, where there was a bit of pressure from Bond and Bat.
In a sense, Ike was doing a good job keeping sort of the defense stuck on him, opening up sort of the other players.
Yeah, yeah, it's an underappreciated part of the team. If you can get them to focus on you, opens up somebody else. Right.
And a lot of pressure there. Oh, but wow, he gets the pass right through the pressure.
So hard to get turnovers against Riley Bat. Such a good player.
There's no way to stop him there. And
get him in the penalty box. That's one way to stop him.
Right. That's definitely a good point.
Don't think he's very happy with that call, but it looked like a.
Is that an illegal use of hands?
Illegal use of hands violation to me.
And they're going to switch up some of the Japanese players here. Ikizaki coming back in, along with Hasegawa. And I believe the third one is Norimatsu coming back in.
3-3-1-5.5.
And a nice lob. Nope.
See if they try and trap Riley here, get him to call inbounder. And then they'll probably try to put both Ike and Ikizaki on bond.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. Oh, bench timeout. So there's a good use of a coaching's timeout here that will allow Riley to not have to inbound, which is,
I see.
you know, once again, getting Riley off the court is an advantage.
Right, because he's already out there to sort of initiate the opposition.
Yeah.
So that's the first use, I believe, of the. Oh, sorry, that's the second use of the timeout by the Australian coach, right? Or sorry, that is the first use. I believe on the scoreboard you can see here the green numbers are the player timeouts, and then the 2 and the 1 there are the head coach timeouts. So Australia has used one.
There you go.
So
I have never seen a scoreboard that tracks both.
Yeah, both of the
timeouts before.
Very helpful for us in the booth to make sure that we have the right numbers sent to you.
The easier they can make it for us, the better off we'll be.
Yeah, and the better for all of our spectators to understand what's going on in the game.
Yeah.
The 3 in the middle is for the third period, as we are in the 4th minute of the third period, and it's going to take that in.
Yeah, Australia using all 12 seconds of their 12 seconds to get over a half there. Nice pressure by the Japanese defense.
Yep, it almost got them to get the 12-second violation, right?
Yep, almost.
So just as a reminder, you need to cross into the opposition zone within 12 seconds, or else it's going to be a clock violation, and the ball will be overturned to the other team. So you definitely don't want that to happen.
And the ball has to touch the ground. If it's a pass, if it's in the air,
it doesn't count.
It's got to touch the floor. It's obviously if it's on the player's lap, that's different. But if it's a pass that's coming, it's got to hit the floor before the 12-second count.
So we have the referees watching the clock and the ball, keeping a close watch on both.
Yeah, Japan is working really hard against this line to try to force that ball into Nicholson rather than Riley, who's not quite at the same level as carrying the ball. So Riley did get open at the end there, but Edmondson decided to play it safe and call his timeout.
Okay. Yep, so I guess one of the big strategies there is to put pressure onto sort of the more offensive players to try and force the ball into a more defensive player. And that should possibly initiate sort of a mistake.
Yeah, so we call them the number ones, and what that usually means is the player that carries the ball the most. Not always, but usually means that. So you want to try to stop the ball getting into the hands of the number ones. And for Australia, that's obviously Riley.
Right.
For Japan, it's a different situation, right? Who do you consider the number one? Is it Ikizaki, who's probably, you know, the best ball carrier out there? But they try to get the ball into Ike off their inbound. So which one do you consider the number one? It's really
and it's
your
tough
decision.
if you've got to watch out for both, right?
Yeah.
And in a sense, sometimes they'll, you know, let the defensive players come to them, get the aggression, and then open up another player to score a try instead.
Yeah.
But that was a long pass to Ikizaki, who easily takes that into the try zone.
Not sure if this is a change of tactics to have Nicholson inbound the ball rather than Edmondson, but that certainly happened that particular time.
We got it over, and there's a try, so that definitely worked out for the Australian team.
Yeah, nice effort by Riley there, and then a nice pick at the end by Edmondson to get him the last 10 feet or so. But
yeah, it opened up Ikizaki, and he's going to slide right in for the try.
Yeah, it looks like Nicholson is going to continue to inbound here. So
so they like that strategy.
Yeah.
It worked for them last time, so they're going to try that again.
Yeah.
But very aggressive defense from the Japanese side.
Yeah. Making
Two
Riley
guys
work hard.
And wow.
But there's Edmondson doing what he does.
Right. Once again,
Yeah.
Edmondson is in the right place at the right time.
Yeah. Well, they
Makes
got
it
the matchup
perfect.
they wanted, right?
Right.
Hasegawa is not going to defend Edmondson one-on-one, right?
Right.
So move the ball to where your advantage is, and that's what Australia did there.
So Australia coming up with a couple plays that have worked out really well for them, but once again, this is Ikizaki is going to slide right in. So we've had a couple tries here where it's just gone back and forth. Everything has been working out well for both teams.
This game seems to be going like that. It flows where teams are scoring and then kind of slows down where maybe we see a couple more turnovers or it's some key defenses. So different change of paces, I suppose.
And oh, that's a strong hit right there from Riley Bat. And he's going to go right on and score there. And Ike was looking for someone to pass to, but great defense from his teammate Norimatsu.
Yeah.
Who stopped the opposition for him and just made room for him to go right in and make the try.
Nice positioning by Norimatsu. Sometimes when you've got to help a player like Ike against a player like Riley, your low pointer can not be in the greatest position, and Riley just gets back on top of the pile, but he wasn't able to that time. So
we're seeing some great teamwork from both teams in this game. And the crowd is clapping along to the announcements from the arena announcer. Got a very nice turnout here. Earlier today we had some pretty young students, but I think we have some older students watching the game, and that was a great turnover there.
Yeah,
big turnover for Japan here.
Yeah, you had me looking up into the stand, so I didn't see what happened.
Sorry about that.
You know, obviously Japan has clawed their way back to a one-try possession game now, so the closer it stays, the more exciting it'll be for all of us. So don't have a favorite in this game, just hoping for an exciting finish.
Yeah. So if Japan can do that again, that'll put the game back. And here we go. There's another turnover. The crowd is super excited to see this, and let's see if they can tie this game up. And he's going to go in, and there we go. The game is tied at 34-34. Japan has come back.
Yeah, Ike's able to get a hand in there and knock the ball loose from Riley. Looks like he feels like he was fouled, but referees didn't agree.
And
quite often they'll let you go in and make one attack at the ball without calling a violation. And if you continue to go back in, perhaps they'll blow you down there.
And with this timeout, the arena is doing the stomp, stomp, clap.
So it looks like Japan has made some substitutions here. Nakamachi is seeing his first action of the game, I believe.
Right, Nakamachi is in there. And oh, nice pass there. And oh, that's a fall over, and Chris Bond takes that in for the try. Some good defense also from Michael Zan. He was sticking with the Japanese opposition, making sure that he could make some room for his teammates. And they're going to help Ikizaki up. And we're in the last minute and a half of the third period. 34 Japan, 35 Australia. See if Japan can tie this up, and a nice pass but they're going to use the time wisely here.
Yeah. So nice job by Nakamachi. They did try to trap him after the inbound, and he was able to avoid that and then get open and get the ball over half. And it looks like he might score their try. Oh,
nope.
That's a bad decision there by. Did they give? Oh, they gave him a penalty try. I thought perhaps they were going to put him in the penalty box.
Oh, okay. But so no penalty box, but just an automatic try given there.
Yeah.
And takes that in for the try at 53.6 seconds left. So this is once again a good timing to put that try in to try and get the last point of the
good
period.
window for Australia to potentially get the last try of the quarter here. And I believe it's their ball to start the fourth, so that could give them a +1 if they're able to execute. Japan, however, may run the clock down and use one of their timeouts here to
tie the
get
game
that
up
15 seconds and ensure they get the last try of the quarter. We'll see. They're slowing it down, and there's a 12-second difference between the try clock and the game clock. So certainly looks like that's what they're about to do.
Right. So we'll see if the timeout is called here or.
The other thing they would do is try and draw a penalty, but good patience there by Australia to not reach in and bail the Japanese. Give them that automatic reset for the penalty rather than the timeout.
So instead, they would want the Japanese team to make sure that they use one of their timeouts.
Yeah, sometimes these athletes get overexcited and they try to make that turnover and then take a penalty and then it ends up costing you more.
Right.
It rarely works.
Would be essentially giving them a free sort of timeout by doing a penalty there.
Interesting tactics by Coach Duberly there to have both Nicholson and Graham out on the court, those two defensive chairs, to see if they could try to put up a solid key defense. Didn't work, but might as well give it a go.
Well, that was some great defense at the end there by Kaya Kurahashi. And prevents Australia from scoring the last try. So that's going to be 36-36 at the end of the third period. We'll be looking forward to an awesome fourth period. We'll be back with you in just 2.5 minutes. Wow, they caught up.
So starting lineup against starting lineup.
And we've got a great game going on here at the Tokyo Metropolitan Gymnasium. Japan 36, Australia 36. After 3 periods, we're in the final period, the last 8 minutes of this game. What are we looking for from both teams here?
Well, I mean, we're going to obviously look for an exciting finish, given that both these teams have their starting lineups out there. And
okay.
Advantage Japan is it looked like there was a bit of miscommunication between Bond and Bat on that inbound there. So gives Japan the first try of this quarter and the last try of that last quarter. So
it's going to put them into the advantage.
Driver's seat.
And Japan is back with the lead for the first time since the first period, I believe. And gets that over to the captain. And with that speed, wow. Both players with some amazing speed there.
Yeah, both good effort by both players.
Right.
Ike is much faster than I think you would imagine, given the way he sits in his chair. He's able to keep up with a player like Bond.
Right. Has a very high stance in his chair.
Yeah.
They call him the, I believe they call him the Statue of Liberty, Ike.
Well, it's exactly what he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly what he does.
Very high reach. We saw that earlier in the game when he made a nice catch as well. So.
Yep. So.
And we've got,
one of the advantages for Japan when they're in defense, when they have to have a low pointer inbound like McClellan did there, Riley has to come down and get the ball so close to the try line. You can use that as a third defender.
I see.
It didn't work that time. He was able to move the ball to Bond, obviously, and they scored the try. But that's what you're looking for when you get those low pointers inbounding against this team in particular, and a lot of teams if they.
So those are the times that you have sort of the defense really close to the opposition, as opposed to if you have sort of a mid or high pointer with a longer pass. They have to spread out and make sure that they cover all of the ground.
When I coached against Australia, anytime we made one of the .5s inbound, we would automatically switch to a zone press because we knew that they were coming down to get the ball. So no need to man up at that point and then switch to a man if they get the ball in, right? So see, once again, that ball's coming in so close to the try line.
Just tosses it over, but then he's going to take that, and that's nice pass, but slips out of Bat's hands.
Yeah, just either fatigue or focus error there. Like, I mean, that was a very catchable ball for Riley, of course. So maybe the toll of this quick game is catching up with him a little bit.
Well, it's a lot of pressure with the score being very close.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Riley's used to pressure. He's played in some big games. I'm not sure that that's affecting him, but it's
unlikely of him to make that kind of error. But that's going to give Japan an opportunity and see if they can get an advantage here. And they're going to capitalize on that and take the 2-point lead.
Yeah.
So Japan was able to capitalize on that opportunity. They're going to take a lead here. And spins right past everyone, and he's going to, doesn't quite have the room to make it himself. He's going to look for an opening.
Trying to pick up his low pointers so he can follow them in. Gets the ball to Bat instead, who powers his way through.
Low pointers did a good job of keeping the opposition near them, opening up space for them to make the try. And the veteran putting on the speed, and he goes right through.
Yeah, that was a good speed there by the 48-year-old Shimakawa. Didn't even look close against Chris Bond.
No,
and then gave him a bit of a shot at the end there for good measure.
Yeah.
Always feels good. Unless you're on the receiving end, I suppose.
Right. And that was a good defensive try there from the captain Chris Bond, but wasn't quite able to stop the big veteran there, and gonna lob that in, and can't quite get to it, and that's gonna go out, and another turnover here.
Yeah, third turnover this quarter
Yes.
against Australia. Japan's got the potential to take a 3-try lead.
Right.
Which is, with 5 minutes to go, getting dodgy for the Australian squad. I wonder if they'll keep having this low point inbound. Obviously, they're trying things, you know.
Right.
Now's the time to try. Well,
right. This is the first game of this matchup in this tournament. We're anticipating 2 more games with these 2 teams, so there are definitely things that each team is going to be trying. They're going to be testing different things, preparing for the final that they anticipate to play against each other.
Another close call there. Looks like it went off of EK though, so, and we'll see some subs here. I wonder if they're going to keep Riley out. Yeah, they're going to give Riley a bit of a rest.
All right.
So.
And
he seems to have struggled a little bit towards the end of this game here, which is unusual for him.
Right.
So keep him fresh for perhaps the next time.
Right, the next game,
which is tomorrow, I believe.
Yes, it's going to be. I believe it's the last game tomorrow, 19 o'clock. Should be another exciting game, just like this.
Yeah.
So, and with both of these teams, they have a lot of players on their squad, so there's a lot of, players to work with. They're trying different matchups, and I believe some of these players, they also want to get the experience in as well, especially for some of the younger players. And Ikizaki passes to the 21-year-old Hashimoto. And Che Graham makes a nice pass there. Australia with losing 3 points. Cannot make any more mistakes here. They have to try and find the space, and great pass. Finds the opening there.
Yeah, good job by Edmondson to be in a good position there. It's not the easiest pass to make. It wasn't a great passing angle, but players of this caliber should be able to execute that.
Right, especially with all the pressure that was on him.
Looks like Hashimoto called a timeout there for Japan as the try clock was getting close to the 12-second point.
Right. And they're going to Team Japan switching in some players again. Number 23, Ogawa. And number 13, Shimakawa has come back in. And I believe
good experience for Hashimoto to be out here at the end of this game. See if he can finish it out.
Right, so they're going to let him take a breather. And Hashimoto finds the perfect space to slip right through for another try. And there's a long lob, but it's intercepted. And Hashimoto once again.
Right position at the right time.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, this game is starting to get away from Australia. See if they can get it back together and at least start to build for next game.
Right. It's going to be a little bit difficult with 4 points, with just 4 minutes. But, and that got out of Bond's hands there. Makes a nice pass to Edmondson. Seeing a lot of that, Edmondson being in the perfect spot.
Yeah, he's been doing that for a while. Helps out his high pointers when he's able to be in good position.
But Hashimoto, with his speed and strength, gets right through.
Yeah. Just nothing but effort, that young man.
He's a very aggressive. You can feel the heartfulness of his plays there.
Yeah.
And yep, he's going to ask for an equipment timeout. I think they said that the taping on his arm has fallen off, so they're going to fix that for him. I believe they have a minute to.
Yeah, they got a minute to correct that. I'm a little bit torn about that. You know, if you get a flat tire, that's a good equipment timeout to me. But if you can't tape up your gloves properly, I think that should be a substitution versus an equipment timeout. But that's my opinion. You may not share it.
Well, I think they allowed the equipment timeout here, but
yeah, they did allow it. I mean, it's allowed. People get it all the time. But I'm just saying that I think that
shouldn't be.
A piece of tape falling off.
As opposed to your wheel falling off.
Is that really a piece of equipment? I'm not sure.
That's a good point. Yeah,
but we won't change the rules today.
No. We'll bring that up with the association
That's
later.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. We'll file a complaint with the board.
Yeah, we'll send them an email. And that's a long pass. But no one is able to quite catch up to that, and that's going to go out of bounds.
Yeah, well, I see some zeros over there on the Australian side, so it looks like they must be out of timeout. So
all right.
No choice but to send that ball over half.
Right there, Australia's out of both of their timeouts. So yeah, he had no other option basically other than to lob it in without getting a 12-second
and we
violation.
Got Foxley Connolly here is going to get some minutes at the end of this game. So
oh, right, yep.
Nice to see Australia's potential young man of the future out there. We'll see how he does.
So we've got Foxley Connolly and Hashimoto. The two youngsters are next to each other.
These guys might be battling quite a bit the years to come.
Oh yeah, this would be a good. We'll be able to talk about this tournament later on in their careers.
Yeah. Well, good start for him there. That was a nice heads-up pass to Bond.
And Bond almost actually got to that, but not quite enough. And Hashimoto, after bouncing the ball once, has to do that every 10 seconds or else it's a violation, but he does that and takes it in for the try. Gives Japan a 5-point lead here in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes and 47 seconds left. And on a nice pass there to Braden Foxley Connolly.
Yeah, nice job reeling in that ball. It sort of bounced right in front of him in an odd way, and he was able to secure it before he went across the try line.
Right.
So 2 nice plays in a row by him.
He's showing some good stuff to his coach. But so is Hashimoto. He makes a nice pass to his veteran teammate, Shimakawa. Takes it across the try line for the 49th try. And they toss that ball over to Foxley Connolly once again. He's going to make a nice pass.
Yeah, he's demonstrating some good vision.
Yes.
You know, a couple of times he's done that. Some good patience there waiting for his...
And he's got, wow, he's pushed right through. And I believe Foxley Connolly also plays wheelchair basketball, which kind of seeing how he threw that ball there, I could see the basketball throw there a little bit.
Well, certainly a lot of crossover skills between wheelchair basketball and wheelchair rugby. It would explain some of the vision he has, you know, moving that ball.
Right. And that's a nice lob into Shimakawa once again. And Japan on the board with 50 tries now. And the crowd is cheering on both teams for the last 2 minutes. And that ball's going to be turned over to Japan.
Yeah, Japan's ball. Foxy Connolly there was 10 seconds in the key.
Okay.
He attacked between the two Japanese high pointers and wasn't able to get through. So tried it, but then it was a good job. They did a good job to not let him out of the key, and with no timeouts.
Right.
That's going to cost you after 10 seconds.
He had no other
obviously.
choice but to just accept the violation happening to him.
So, you know, maybe a bit ambitious for him to attack there, but might as well try it.
Right, with especially when you're down 5, you just got to go with it and, you know, just do your best there, right? And Japan has switched their players for the last minute and a half here. Got the Ike Ikizaki combination out there once again with Kurahashi, as well as Shunya Nakamachi is on there. And Foxy Conley making a solid move there, passes it.
A tough play there, trying to force that ball into Warren right at center. Probably needs to be a little bit further across the half in a safer zone.
Right.
That's once again, when you don't have any timeouts and you've got to go for it. Sometimes force the ball when you don't really want to.
So we are down to the last minute and 10 seconds. Japan with a 7-point lead. Have pretty much secured their win against the first game with Australia. We're going to see more of them in the upcoming days. It's going to be...
well, that will certainly give them an advantage to get into that game on Sunday.
Definitely.
They'll be happy with their 2-0 starts without facing Korea yet.
Right.
So
Japan and Australia have had a long history of playing against each other. They've been long-time rivals, as you may say.
Yeah, well, the Asia-Oceania zone has always had strong teams. You know, New Zealand, been Paralympic gold medalists.
Right.
Australia have been Paralympic gold medalists and world champions, and Japan have been world champions. So,
yeah, Australia were the last world champions in 2022, but the one team that they couldn't beat in the tournament was actually Japan.
Yeah, so Japan beat them by 4 in that game, if I remember correctly. So,
going to be seeing some more and more exciting games in the upcoming days. And with 13.5 seconds left, Japan calls for a timeout.
And that will give them the 15-second reset.
Right.
And obviously an opportunity to score as close to 0 as they decide.
Right.
You know, we were chatting how in most sports, when you're up by this much, you sort of take your foot off the gas at the end of the game. But you have so little opportunity in wheelchair rugby to practice these situations. It's sort of accepted that it's okay to do this, right? I come from Canada where we play a lot of hockey. You try something like this, you get punched in the face.
Right, yeah.
You know?
If you're up by 3-4 points, and the last minute they just kind of skate around and have fun, right? But they fought very hard right until the end. Both teams showing a very aggressive and very exciting game here. Japan comes up top with 53-46. For the first game. How did you enjoy the game?
I thought it was a great game. Both teams tried really hard. I would say the difference may have at the end of the game just been the difference in the benches, right? Japan is just a little deeper, 1 through 12, than Australia is right now. And I think that showed as the game wore on, and we saw a few more turnovers than we did at the start of the game. So.
Okay, well, thank you very much once again, Adam, for being here today. Commentating with me for the Japan versus Australia Game 3. We have upcoming next, we have Game 4 for this day 1. It's going to be Korea versus New Zealand. I believe will be at 19 o'clock, 7 p.m. So stay tuned. Stay on the same channel. We're going to be giving you another exciting game in just a couple moments. And we will also have this same matchup again tomorrow. Some more exciting games coming up. Adam will be back with us tomorrow again, so I will see you again tomorrow. And thank you so much.
Yeah, have a great night, Alex.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.